I want to bring in now NewsNation correspondent Kelly Meyer to take a closer look at this conflict. Kelly, thanks for being with us again today. Today, President Biden spoke with Ukrainian president. What was said, and what did President Biden promise?
Well, thanks, Ruby, for having me. The president has been saying that he's going to keep Ukraine and the Ukrainian president in the loop in all of their discussions through this process. And that's just what he did today, one day after his call with the Russian president. And he just reiterated their support for the territorial integrity and Ukraine's sovereignty. He also said, a White House official telling me the president's discussed the U.S. ongoing military and economic assistance to Ukraine. The U.S. has given $650 million in security assistance and about $500 million in economic and humanitarian aid in just the past year. And Biden made clear to the Ukrainian president that the U.S. and allies would respond, quote, swiftly and decisively to any further Russian aggression. But he really didn't have any more updates to provide the Ukrainian president with, because from his phone call with Putin on Saturday morning, which also lasted about an hour, the same as his call with the Ukrainian president, there were no breakthroughs. There was nothing really there to ease the tension. So he still doesn't know either way what's going to happen next. And the Ukrainian president actually extended an invitation to President Biden to come to Kyiv this week. But, with everything going on, a presidential visit to Ukraine seems incredibly unlikely right now. Rudy?
Yeah, so both leaders speaking on the phone with President Biden this weekend. The U.S. is continuing, of course, to urge Americans in Ukraine to leave, ordering employees at the U.S. embassy to leave. Do we know how many Americans are left and what the U.S. is doing to help them?
Well, the U.S. officials have said this weekend that it really is past time to leave, but they did say, the National Security Advisor said this morning on some of the Sunday shows, that there is if there's still commercial flights leaving, then you should get out of the country now. They say that they really won't be able to help anybody if something should happen. They are not putting any American troops on the ground in Ukraine, so they are urging people to leave immediately. The embassy in Kyiv has stopped its consular services, such as passport services, as of today. They are moving some back to the U.S., some staff to the U.S., or some staff to Western Ukraine so they can head over the Polish border if they need a quick exit. But we don't know the exact numbers of Americans in Ukraine. The State Department doesn't have those numbers. They don't require Americans to register when they head abroad to other countries. But they say there are several Americans they spoke to that have decided to stay, and they just keep expressing to them the danger that they are in and the ability or inability the United States government will have to come rescue them if they should decide to stay and should Russia decide to invade.
All right, Kelly Meyer, keeping such a close eye on this situation for us. Thank you.
Thanks for watching. Click the red subscribe button below so you can get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.